Good morning. All righty. Let's see if this market's ready to move one way or another here this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Before we get started, I happened to see an interesting post on Facebook today about a young man, 20-year-old customer at Robinhood Brokerage, commits suicide after seeing a $730,000 negative balance. Wow. Well, I don't know if he had $730,000 to lose or whether that was what happened after his whatever trading, but it talks about his options trading. It doesn't say what options he did, but the message here from this is, how do people place a trade without knowing what in the world they are doing and what their exposure is? It's just amazing. That and I've been in this business for over 30 years, and yes, I even to this day I see people that are willing to press the button, and figure out what's going to happen after they press the button. It's amazing. But first of all, people that are attracted to this Robinhood trading, which has been somewhat of a disaster a couple of times, as far as shutting down. But the main thing here is, please do not place these trades without knowing what your risk is and mostly how to manage it. And those of you that are our subscribers that are listening, you guys at least are hearing the words and getting education in the room, or getting our letters. But there's a tremendous amount of education in this tab in the member area called resources, that Dan has created videos and documents that explain money management, contingent orders, what your risk is at the end of the day, so on and so forth. So unfortunately, this young man is dead. He took his life over losing money, which is ridiculous. None of us like to lose money. We've all been there, but life goes on, and you get, anyway, I thought I would mention that as a little, preaching box to start the day. So anyway, let's get to the markets. If you haven't read it, go look at it on Facebook. I mean, whatever, it's a little article there, and it's just terrible. Yeah. Anyway, so here we have the markets have been consolidating. Obviously, they had this blip, up here where we got the sell signal, and the little sideways price action and the drop, which was over here. Right, we had this nice waterfall drop, and if I can move that over. This was to point out the fact of wide range bars signaling the end of a move. And so here's the bounce. And now we've got this choppy, somewhat similar consolidation to what was happening here. And there's a void down below. Now, yesterday I spoke about the fact of this void, right, because of the drop. And voids. So let me back up a second. When we see a big drop like this, a big red gigantic bar, that is power. No doubt about it. Who created it? The institutions hitting the bid and collapsing the market. And that was, we've had this run up, and this looked like it was going higher, and we got this big red bar. We're going to see where this one ends at the end of the week. But this pattern, this big reversal, suggests lower. Now it could end up with a sideways consolidation here. Bullish price action, but we'll see. Maybe we're going to get a red bar ignored. Right? None of us know the future, but we know that this is a potent reversal, and here you see it on the daily time frame. And so these big red bars, I say that they're the weakest link in the in the chart, because while they're power bars and they suggest lower, and it did go a bit lower till it hit this support, looked over to the left, and there it was for everyone to see, right? That bullish price action that started that move. And it popped up, and now maybe a little bit more than halfway, give or take. Maybe on a closing base, it's only halfway. And so now at the start of the trading day, it looks like it's ready to roll over. There was a little blip down here, and you can see the line as I drag it down here. It hit there. It's just, isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing what all of the hocus pocus indicators and ways that are in front of your eyes to try and find support and resistance? All you have to do is look to the left, and it's there to see without spending any money on proprietary magic lines. And prices bounce up to the resistance here. And now the question is today, and not that I want to see people lose money, of course, but this is the opportunity today, especially as a day trader. We think to ourselves, where's the void? Because the void is where bigger moves can happen. And if this can break through this support, which is retested for the second time, the theory is that prices are going to fall back down to this low. And from there, we'll see what happens. If it does, maybe it's a W bottom because there's a pretty powerful reversal, and maybe it goes back up. I don't know. But maybe it comes down here as a measured move. In reality, who cares? I'm just talking, and I see patterns in my mind, goes different scenarios to be prepared for one or the other. Today I would like to see this drop because that's where most of the money can be made. And we'll see what happens from there. If it moves back up to the top of the range, well, we're into a bunch of choppy price action, right? Because then we got a trading range of just going back and forth. So ideally, back down below the lows here. If it holds here, I don't know. I'm think maybe sit on my hands. If at the end of the day it holds this and this turns into a bottoming tail bar, well, then I'm going to be thinking long tomorrow. Even if it gets above the opening price, I might start thinking long. Anyway, we'll see. Right now, we're just into the chop. So I guess starting the day, other than individual stocks, I think we're sitting on our hands market-wise. Can you show me measured move? Yes. So this isn't the cleanest. This is, and again, this isn't the textbook that's in the MTS course, but this is more of the textbook measured move where you get the initial move, it tries to turn and stalls, and then you get a continuation. So this had a little bit of a longer sideways move here, but if you look at the move from here to here and from here to here, they're about equal. And I'm not going to get out and measure this and say, oh, it's not exactly whatever points, it's off 5 points. No, we just eyeball it and say, yeah, that's about it. It's understanding the concept where this came down, initially had a power move off of a climactic setup. This is usually how these set up. It initiates sometimes after a climactic or after a W bottom. And then rather than pull back, right? So the understanding of this is, why does it happen? Well, it happens because of a power move, a lot of times into the middle of nowhere, a void. It tries to roll over, and then it's a continuation pattern. Right? So I'll try and think of more of them to show intraday and on daily charts in the green room to reinforce the concept. All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at the spiders for a second here. So we went down, or they went down to 308 and change. 308 and change. So gapping down. And so when we look at the futures, you see this fluidity, but gapping down toward this bottoming tail bar. And so obviously initially that is bearish, but it's going to lead a gap. And so leaving that gap, let's do this. Leaving the gap, it's coming down here, right? So it's going to open down there. So there's the possibility that it opens on this gap fill there. This already touched it, but anyway, opens down here. And if it rallies up to 310, that should be a shorting opportunity, but will still be within the trading range. Right now, SPX. You want to know about SPX? Today's Thursday. All right. Anyway, so here's our S&Ps into this support. Resistance up above now. We've got a little island sort of reversal up here and resistance, which is the top of yesterday. So let's look at SPX. And so 31, 30, 40. You're asking me about the downside. Where's the danger zone? 2,900. Oh, 2,900. If there's premium down there, mortgage the house. I'm exaggerating to make a point, of course. But yes, 2,900. What could cause this to go down to 2,900 today? Something terrible. 2,950. I would say yes. That doesn't seem like a possibility today without some news. Well, for Friday. Now you want me to look into tomorrow. I don't know. I might have to get some help on that. I might have to, I don't know, call Kramer. I'm not sure about tomorrow. But I didn't think without news. I think that this would hold. I think that this would hold for this week. That's far away. So 2,900, I think, even to tomorrow, yes. But maybe, you want to get a little more premium. You got the 50 MA over here at 2,950. So that would be a little bit of your protection. So I'd go down to maybe 2,920. So, go to there. Give it a little extra room. So there you go. All right. NQs. Coming off of the low here, a little bounce, and hourly chart similar, right? Getting close down here, and we've got the similar situation, right? A trading range going on here. So if I see the NQ futures break below the prior hour's low, well, this could be a measure type of move, okay? But down here to the low and then look for the bounce. And whether that happens at 10 o'clock or 10:30, if that is in the cards, we could have a lunchtime drop, meaning if this can't bounce significantly from here, assuming it gets down there, of course, it's going to open up the door. So I'm going to be watching for this today and the ES. And, this could be a real great day for a move to the downside if we can get this together where these markets will drop into this void. I'll be looking for that. QQQ went down to 230, no, 230, 242-ish, 242. You can see my mouse here, 242-ish. All right. Opening 243, opening down below this low. So this move up in a gap down to the low area of this bar, within this slop is initially bearish. So, we already looked at the intraday of the futures. I think we have a little sitting on our hands to do initially. And we'll just see what happens from there. And YM. I like to look at the different markets to see if one is leading the way, so to speak. Same retest, but this one's hanging down near the low so far. I know Boeing is lower this morning. I'm going to go back to ES for a second here. So that's pretty close to the low. NQ showing strength. Probably, well, Google is down 5 points. Not that it should matter too much, but Biogen is dropping here. Boeing is down. What else? Just looking here. The others not such. Let's see here. Just looking here at what's down. Google, Boeing, LRCX, so semiconductors weak, UAL, transports weak. It kind of lead Facebook only down $1, no big deal. But what's up? Oh, Shop is up again. Tesla, all right, spot now. All right. So here's the bottom line market wise is trading range for now. If it can break below here, we got something going potentially. Russell. Right, so that broke yesterday. Retest coming back down again, but this pivot low right there. So the Russell's got a void too. And I guess the takeaway initially here is give it a little time and let's see which way it goes. Bonds are up. So turning back up here, they got room to go up. That might put a little pressure on the market. Mentioned yesterday about crude oil. If that could start coming down, it's doing nothing here in a trading range, but up at the top of the range, similar kind of pattern on the weekly time frame. So from a swing perspective, we really not so sure which way things are going to go. Maybe it'll get clearer today. Gold still just waiting, but going sideways at the top of the range. Quad witching, yep, going to be chopped for a day or tomorrow, possibly, Joss, possibly. Triple witching used to be a big volatility thing many years ago, kind of fizzled out. And all right, so silver maybe will be just chopped. Silver looks like it might roll over. It's kind of pulling in here. And the transports gapped down yesterday a little bit, but they kind of held. So basically the message is the same wherever. Initially, a little sitting on hands, the retracement off of the low here, which produced green bars so far in the weekly chart, makes the bearish side a little questionable, but as already mentioned, if these will fall over the edge of the cliff here, this might turn into a topping tail bar by the end of the day tomorrow. So, all yours, Dan.
All right, good morning. Let's take a look at opens. We're fairly light, which is good. We only have one open trade in the weekly. And we've been doing a really good job of legging into, bull put spreads, call spreads, trailing stops. So beyond here is our only open. We have a put spread for tomorrow, the 150s down here. And it's, flat to marginally green, so that's fine. In a gap down market, anything green is relative strength. Swing letter, J&J, we're short stock, that looks good. Nikola, put spread. Pfizer, short, we only have a third lot left. Varex, short. And Zynga, we picked up yesterday in this little afternoon breakout. So that's it. Everything looks fine. I never gave Roku, but it looks fine. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it on the list. A DXCM, I sent out an alert yesterday to close it. And the only reason was the pattern looks totally fine, Clint. The only reason I did it was the market selling off into the close, and this thing is too spready. And we were able to book it at a close it at a very nice profit. And I just didn't want to get caught in illiquidity if it did start to sell off. Let's look at some gappers here. Boeing gapping down. No pattern, but 30-minute low. 30-minute low could be a day trade short. Yeah, I mean, for those of you in the green room, we give you the alerts that we give to our paid subscribers. But if you aren't a subscriber, you don't get the Telegram alerts. So that's, buyer beware. If you don't get an alert, if you don't see it in the green room. Zoom, relative strength, but no pattern. Delta, I think, had their annual meeting. They were, CNBC says they were talking about how many, they had 500 pilots test for Corona. And I forget how many died. I forget if they said 5, I don't know. But airlines are under pressure again. And there's no pattern, they're still beat up. CCL had earnings today, gapping down. Cruise ships came in, no patterns. So we're staying away from them until they set up. McGraw, EMPH, bounce from yesterday. I personally don't like, trading into WRBs unless they're, like a wide range ending bar. This one's not a wide range ending. That's a nasty power bar. But, if you can get a day trade, fine, but it's far from setting up for me. Let's see, YouTube's asking about spot and square. Wow, yeah, spot. Wow, I missed that into the close. That is an incredible. It's not a flag per se, because flags come down at a 30-degree consolidation, but it's a bull rectangle consolidation. The only problem is now it's way extended on the 15-minute chart from the afternoon run to the pre-market, gapping up another 10 bucks here. But that was a beautiful, beautiful setup on that afternoon breakout. And that was relative strength to the market selling off. Very impressive. I mean, you can tell by my tone that was beautiful. Square, no pattern. We were talking about it. Today's Thursday, so Monday here we were talking about it, and then it gapped up. It's just there's no pattern now. Ed, the middle chart on your page. Can you explain your page? Yeah. Yeah, bottom left is daily, bottom right weekly, middle monthly, upper left 15-minute chart. And these are just 3 thumbnails that I'll put whatever tier 1 gappers that we find here together. I'll just throw them in here so we can watch them at the open. Actually, there's one here, this ABM. ABM bullish gap. So this is a nice tier 1 gap. So it's gapping over this red bar. There you go. This provided, it's not the greatest volume, but this is a tier 1 gap. Day trade, target 36 or whatever. So it's a 2-pronged test. I have a bullish gap with a price void, and then I put it in a window, and let's see what happens at the first 5 or 10 minutes. Ecom short. Yeah, but Ed, you were asking me in MT Live what a price void is. See, here's an example. Yes, it's a bear 1, 2, 3, without a doubt. But look to the left. You got all these overlapping bars. So it's not a great price void pattern. Snap over the high, continuation is fine. William Jimenez, if you'll put your drop down to all panelists and attendees, he's asking me about MU short. Day trade, sure. You got some, I could see 49.50 as you got it, it's breaking down on the 15-minute chart. So yeah, that looks fine for a day trade. He's also asking about JPM. I don't like JPM as much because you're already into this WRB. But this was a beautiful, beautiful, this is, and we've done an MT live on this. In fact, I'm going to grab this as a screenshot because it's so beautiful. This is textbook. Morning sell-off, bearish consolidation all day long, shorted price void, shorted afternoon breakdown. Absolutely, you got a little green bar ignored there. 100% beautiful late day breakdown. I'm gonna write myself a note. And that's what trading's all about, is finding these no-brainer setups. Here's another one, folks. Zulu India, new IPO, right at this pivot right there, 11:15. In the green trading room, we were trying to short it. Same thing, although it's not late day breakdown, it's late morning breakdown, but same pattern. Sell off, bearish consolidation, breakdown, price void. Look, it had room to fall because it was bearish consolidation on this. So you got to go down to the next level. And I remember saying right there, there is no reason that this thing can't fall a buck or two. And it fell 3. I tried to short it myself. A number of us in the green room did, but it was not borrowable, unfortunately. Let me continue here. Smith & Wesson gapping up, but no pattern. It's too extended. I mean, doesn't it, fundamentals and using common sense. Isn't that common sense, folks? That you got, the country, you got all kinds of people wanting to defund police. So what's the and then suing police? What is the obvious thing that's going to happen? The cops are going to say, "I ain't going to be the next one." Go, they're going to turn their backs to crime. They're like, I'm going to collect my pension and paycheck and not bother anybody. If you don't believe that is going to happen, then you know. And then number 2 is we're going to have higher gun sales. People are seeing this shit and they're like, all right, I'll, got to take care of myself. So why do you think Smith & Wesson chart looks like that? It's just common sense. Anath, welcome. I don't recognize your name, but if you can put your drop down to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see your questions. SWBI, that's what I'm talking about. There's no pattern, it's extended. This is Smith & Wesson, no pattern. Tandem, yeah, that was on our list yesterday. We looked at this in MT Live, actually. It's at resistance, but if you can get an inside bar, then maybe a continuation pattern tomorrow. Let me continue with a couple gappers here since we don't. ABM, as I said, bottom right, I'm watching. Octa I have as a 15-minute chart. I said yesterday, this 15-minute chart looks fantastic. So that's a day trade, 5-minute high. It's just, I don't hit the buy button in the first minute, but day trade, that looks fantastic. ABM, that's what I said was a tier 1. See, it moved too much. See, I mean, I said my target was 36 plus and it's already there. In 1 minute, it's already hit my target. But look at the weekly. Could be it could be in the kitchen for a big old fat bear sandwich, which is bullish. But you know, that was a tier 1, and I didn't chase it. Looks like another little junk stock, ENPH. That's the one McGraw mentioned. McGraw, you know, day trade maybe 10-minute high.